Understand that inside government case, most people won't forgive. It's not optional as they claim. Why? Two reasons. Number one, your support system is human, ladies and gentlemen. And what human like the most is a compelling story. Good versus evil. And they're more likely to urge you in and to see this perpetrator as evil person and you as the good person. And that's why the more likely response for them is to demand you to continue to be angry for them. But secondly, note that forgiving requires argument. It is something that's somewhat more complicated. It requires reasoning as to why it needs to be done, while anger is easy. The only thing that you do as a support system is just to be angry together with you as a person, to be together angry with the victim. And thus, most people will more likely to urge you to be angry, and that's why their world that they must defend is when you choose to be angry in the face of the harms that have happened towards you. I want to talk about three things. Number one, I want to talk about can you forgive? Why is it possible? Number two, I'd like to talk about why forgiving results with greater and better personal betterment. And third and finally, I want to talk about why forgiving results with much better societal betterment. Let's begin with can we forgive? Why it's possible? Because the first thing that we hear from them is that forgiving is hard. And you feel guilty if you fail to forgive. Why can you forgive, ladies and gentlemen? I'm not going to claim that forgiving is a one-day thing. But we think that it is something that's possible. Because the problem with their side is that there are people who urges you not to forgive. Their side see a rise of people who will be together with you to trash talk the person that you hate. And it's the kind of narrative that you now see currently in Japan, ladies and gentlemen. When you can hire a room, put a punching bag, and put the face of the person that you hate and keep punching till your fingers bleed. Of course, if that's the world that you live in, you will not forgive, ladies and gentlemen. But what about ours? Okay, I'd like to talk about how does the human brain work, ladies and gentlemen. When you have a trauma, our brain actively closes cells that store memories of that trauma. And this is because it is biologically predisposed to make you forget trauma, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why we see people who was broken up by their ex at one point forgetting many memories of their ex, ladies and gentlemen. But of course, this is the kind of biological response that is impossible in their world when you choose to accept the humanistic anger impulses, where it is continuously reminded in your head, and that's why you will not forgive, and that's why you will not forget. The question of this debate therefore becomes, in a world where it is possible to forgive, is it worth it? And this is where my second clash comes in. Why forgiving results with much greater personal betterment? The first thing that I'd like to note here is that it is very, very odd that they claim that we talk about extreme when their examples resolve around crime like rape, ladies and gentlemen. But note that they claim that you won't do the worst of the worst, that your support system will prevent you from doing honor killing, that they will prevent you from cost and benefit analysis, that there will be no vigilantism and no channeling your anger to someone else like your children, probably just cut contact. But why will this happen, right? Note on the nature of anger. The nature of anger is that it escalates, ladies and children. And understand that the nature of their case is that they are playing it safe, right? They want the law, they want teachers from classes to give punishment, they just want cutting contacts. But that's not enough for an angry person, especially when we're talking about crime, because those are not primal. It doesn't give you the raw satisfaction of pummeling your hated person till you see them bleed, ladies and gentlemen. And this is especially true because that anger instead of true in time goes by. And this is an anger that fester and grow. And this is the problem that we see. The problem of escalation, ladies and gentlemen. Because what happens when you're angry is that you lose rationality and you allow anger to take control of you. And this worsens the condition. They talk about harms that has happened to you. Let's talk about the harm that will happen to you if you fall into the trap of anger. Because we agree that what happened to you is bad and we're very sorry for that. But what's going to happen to you after you allow yourself to fall with your anger? No, rape is bad. But what happens in India, ladies and gentlemen, when a woman who is raped chooses to burn her attacker? What happens then is that it results in the progress of feminism being hampered. Because now women are seen as a threat. Decades of progress of feminism in India fallen back, ladies and gentlemen. What you have in their side is bad decision that results with new harm and new damages. What you have in our side is the ability to move on, to forgive, and to see things rationally and actually make good decisions rather than falling into the trap of anger that can simply result with much worse decision. Alright, finally, why forgiving will result with better societal betterment? Understand that yes, you are a victim. But I think what's more important to note is that we do not want to make new victims out there, ladies and gentlemen. Because no, that new victims doesn't deserve to go through the pain that you have gone through. And what do they say? They say that against rehabilitation, rehabilitation and whatnot, oh, other type of feelings exist. You can always have rehabilitation in their side because there are kindness and what's not. But what's the problem here? The problem is this. Changes like creating a prison system that focuses on rehabilitation or economic changes that increases social welfare so that no child will need to steal in the future, ladies and gentlemen, that require collective support. And what will you have in their side? What you will have is, number one, a lack of collective support because society is split, because there are people who will choose to be angry together with you and there are unlikely to be supporting such a measure. They are more than willing to help those people who are perpetrators. But secondly, understand politician rhetorics, because there are many politicians who are tough on crime. There are many politicians who would like to give retribution, ladies and gentlemen. And these are the people who can tap on your anger to guarantee that there will be no child, ladies and gentlemen, that cannot be a criminal, right? Understand that this is something that is very major. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about very dangerous policy. And that's what you prevent in our side, ladies and gentlemen. What you prevent in our side is recidivism. When there are so many criminals that go to prison and they become criminal again because their prison focuses on retribution, their prison focuses on channeling the anger of the victim to punish the criminal, to allow the warden to brutalize the criminal. But that's the kind of thing that we would like to prevent. It is only when you choose to let go of your anger, it is only when you choose to see those criminals that did this to you as someone that do have a broken family, as someone who are poor, as someone who have no other option but to go to gang and to shoot someone because that's how they can survive inside of the Bronx. It is only then, when you see it from that perspective and when you release that anger, will you be more okay with rehabilitative measure? Will you be more okay with them being given jobs, ladies and gentlemen, after they finish prison, ladies and gentlemen? Because it is only in such measures will you think that as fine compared to in their case where you will think that that is not enough. They deserve much worse, and that's why those kind of rehabilitation will never happen in their side, ladies and gentlemen. Thus, what will you have in their side? What you will have is more crimes, and furthermore, what you will have is secondly, much worse crimes. Because what happens when there are retribution inside of prison that are too much, what happens when there are no economic support after you get out of prison, is that these people become much worse criminals. Those that are once only theft become petty gangbanger, and those that are gangbanger become much worse gangsters. And gentlemen, that's the risk that you have. Not only existing harm, but new harms that are created. What do you have in our side? What you have is the ability to move on, to not let your life get dictated by this, and to prevent further crimes. We proudly oppose.